Welcome, everybody.
Shelli's favorite song, ladies and gentlemen.
My favorite song. Come on.
Are you going to turn this into a TikTok video, or are you going to be like...
I am going to be, yeah.
I don't know how to do these TikTok videos. I'm too old for that crap.
Right? Exactly. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, hey, look, it's Rene. I know that guy.
It's driving. Oh, and one just came on too. Who do we have here? Hi, guys.
Hello.
How's it going tonight?
Going well now.
So, you can cut the music now, guys.
Okay, I'll cut the music.
I know that's Kenny Tom's favorite song. Like, as you're headed to the recovery, I've taken a lot of polls like, what song do you listen to on the way to this massive rollover? Eastbound and Down, Thunderstruck, a lot of AC/DC songs, a lot of, what else do these guys like? Chris Young. Hey, Chris Young. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for hopping on.
Hey, so real quick, we might as well shout this out right now. Chris Young was actually just a guest on season 3, episode 2 of the Get Hooked podcast. So check that out. Maybe we can throw that link up there for people.
Electric vehicles, as he is one of our foremost experts in the industry. For sure. Peter, little Pete.
We'll see you in the house.
Hey, Pete.
We'll see you in 2 weeks, buddy. Looking forward to it at the Esther Show. And that's a great transition, dear. What's your name, Dennis?
Is that my turn? Is that my turn to talk about things that we're doing?
It's always your turn to talk, Dennis.
When you transition, that's the point to where you should transition.
Cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So we're going to jump right into this. Okay. So we will be on the road coming up very shortly, starting next weekend, not this coming weekend, the following weekend, June 3, 4, and 5. We will be in Lake George, New York at the Estra Tow Show, out there supporting the New York Association. June 11th, we will be exhibiting at the Michigan Tow Association picnic in Frankenmuth, Michigan.
Frankenmuth, Michigan. And Dennis and if Rene attends, they will be doing their first skeet shooting event with Brent Baker. Where are you, Brent Baker?
Well, I have never been skeet shooting.
I've shot skeet.
Okay.
I've shot other things, just not skeet.
I've shot dove. Same thing.
Yeah, just about. I mean, one's a little bit more pre-planned, but sure, we'll go with it. And then June 16, 17, 18, we will be right here in Fort Worth, Texas for the American Towman Expo.
Yes.
Super cool.
You bringing your boots, Rene?
Yes, I am. That's what I consider my home show.
He's in Texas, so.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to be out here. We have this beautiful young gentleman here with us. Why don't we introduce Eric Albertson here to the team? Eric, why don't you introduce yourself? How's that sound?
Hi, guys. Eric Albertson here. I'm in the truck sales department at Zips AW Direct. I've known Shelli and Rene for how many years now, guys?
I came to Zips in 2016.
2016?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk today with Eric and our resident product expert. Rene, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience members that don't know you, all 6 of them that aren't aware of who you are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rene Jimenez. Currently, I'm at BA Products. I am the customer service manager and new product development manager. And I just got to BA in October, but we are making leaps and bounds and doing great stuff. So, and hoping to bring more stuff for safety and ease of use, more products, more stuff to the towing industry.
Awesome. Well, welcome, I guess, back. You did our podcast before, not the live show, but welcome back to the Honk Forum. Eric, welcome aboard. And so we're here to talk about supply chain issues and how it's affecting the towing industry. For the COVID-19 pandemic, many of us really took the supply chain for granted. We're seeing a different world now. We're seeing that, manufacturers, warehouses, transporters, distribution centers, retailers, everyone in every industry across the board is experiencing some sort of supply chain issues. We were actually just talking with our marketing manager about the difficulty of getting some custom suits made for a wedding. This is something that is happening across every industry, but it's affecting this towing industry in multitude of different ways, and so we've got some experts here to kind of dive into that a little bit.
We got a couple people that have just joined us. Sharif, good to see you. We also have our friends from Bakersfield Cali Towing. Hey, you guys, how's it going?
Welcome, everybody. We got Nick from Nick Telesco Towing and Recovery, Altoona, Pennsylvania. How's it going? People are just starting to roll in little by little here. But yeah, so, we're looking at nationwide. We've got shortage of drivers. We've got lack of available warehouse space. We've got rising consumer demand. We've got all sorts of supply chain issues. So let's jump right in here. Eric, why don't you talk about a little bit about how it's affecting the truck sales and the retail end of this?
Yeah, I mean it's been a kind of a nightmare for all of us dealers. We can't get bodies, we can't get chassis, parts to go into the trucks. It just everything from the bottom to the top. It seems like there's a problem. For example, we probably had 30 Fords sitting out on the lot. All the trucks were built, ready to go. We could simply not get the PTOs or clutch pumps for them. It seems like it's one thing after another.
Yeah, so we've always got some great data in front of us. Jackie, our producer, is amazing at pulling some great stats. So I'll just share some of the stuff we've got here. According to the American Trucking Association, there's a shortage of about 80,000 truck drivers across the country right now, and that's all across all trucking industries. Obviously, towing is just a small portion of that, but this is one of the other things that we're seeing is we're seeing lack of bodies and lack of labor in a lot of different markets. Rene, can you talk to that a little bit as far as being able to obtain products and things like that?
Yes, there's labor shortage from and then it's funny you mentioned drivers, because it's just something as simple as getting a container or a truck and trailer driven across town. It's 30 miles, but we can't get it because it's that labor shortage, of the driver shortage, the parts, just the raw goods, the steel. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It's just that labor workforce to get it from point A to point B, to get it mass produced. That's what the major shortage is. From a basic hook, and even if you say, well, I need a strap, I don't need a hook. Well, there's metal hardware at the end of that strap, so that puts you back on that shortage.
Yeah, lots of all sorts of like I said, across every different industry. It's something that we're seeing everywhere, of shortages of labor, shortages of being able to get physical things, like you said, hardware on the end of a strap. Like, people don't even seem to realize that things can be waiting on one specific piece. I know one of the things we did discuss was microchips. It's those come from overseas. We don't make microchips here in the States. We haven't in many years. We've gotten really good at outsourcing things like that. That's one piece of the puzzle. Eric, how has that affected truck production, or is that something you guys are seeing, or is that just a part of a larger whole? Or
Yeah. I mean, the chips is a big part of it. I mean, I think Freightliners, Internationals, it seems like every single one of them, the trucks will be built, ready to go. They kick them out of the factory, and then they'll put them in a parking lot until they get these chips to finish the trucks. And I think some of the Freightliners, they probably sat down there anywhere from 3 to 5 months just before the trucks could be finished and then shipped to us, and then we can start install. It's completely frustrating.
Stuff for sure.
Shelli, with your background in sales and dealing with these types of products, how is it different today than what you've seen in the past?
So, in the past, when an order would be placed, there hardly ever was a back order, honestly, for, especially for the things that you go through a lot. Straps, any kind of wire rope, especially for the rollback. So it's, 3/8 by 75 all the way up to 150 or whatever the most common one is. We never had a shortage. We had multiple places that we ordered from, whether it was AW Direct or Zips, always in stock, never an issue. Things that had a lot of different components to it, like, for example, a set of dollies. Think about all the moving parts for dollies. There would occasionally be a back order on dollies for both dolly manufacturers. Both I saw were the same, and there was a little bit of a slowdown, at the end of 2020 or at the beginning of 2020 when I came in. I started seeing it slow down a little bit, but really, I've never seen a shortage like we have right now. Always encouraging these business owners to stock up, especially for inspection time. So I think now is, if there ever was a time to start stocking the shelves with your high turnover items, whether you're using them with a high volume and going through them, or they perhaps are lost in the whole process by your operators and drivers out there. Damaged, yes.
And damaged tow truck drivers, damaging straps, chains. We don't do that, Rene.
And adding on to the products, there was a deficit, like pretty much like a massive gap in the industry for so long. It's like having an empty swimming pool and trying to fill it back up with a small water hose. We're gonna fill it up, but it's just gonna take a while, and that's where we're at, trying to fill that swimming pool back up to be able to get that supply chain back in one linked piece.
So Eric, how are dealers like Zips? I mean, obviously Zips is one of the largest dealers in the country, if not the largest these days. But how are you guys putting up with this, lack of just having things on the lot, lack of having things to sell, and obviously lead times too? If you could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're simply trying to do everything we can to provide the product for our customers. One big thing we did here recently is I think we just ordered about 100 Chevy chassis that we're going to be building probably here in Q3, Q4. Primarily, the majority of them will be aluminum beds. Steel beds are sold out a little bit farther, probably Q1 of next year. But I mean, it's things like that we're trying to do. Just buy as much as possible, because it's very limited on what we can buy. For most of the slots, they're sold out for the year. Freightliner, Kenworth, I mean, all the slots, they're just pretty much all gone, so we can't even buy anymore.
Yeah, hearing that a lot from dealers of all different manufacturers, across the board. Talking with our friends over at NRC as well, they're dealing with the same thing. They're looking at like 2 years out on builds from what I heard. For some of these dealers.
For sure.
Yep.
Go ahead, Eric.
I was just gonna say, for example, I mean, we can't even order Kenworth slots for the rest of the year, but we're able to we'll quote a guy like a 23 chassis, and we're gonna tell him it's subject to 24 pricing, and we'll take it as order, and as soon as the order bank opens up, we're gonna try to get that in ahead of everybody else here, so that way it gets put in right away. So
I want to step in and say, I believe that on the accessory supply and on the truck supply, you guys are doing everything that you know how to do, and there are still so many unknowns out there. People that are in the towing industry want you to lock in price. You can't lock in price. People want you to make a firm commitment to whatever. You simply can't, because you don't know the future. You don't know what it's going to be like 6 to 8 months. We want it to be better, but no one knows. There are still so many unknowns.
Yeah, it's been definitely a challenging year when you have to call people and tell them that you can't honor the price that you told them that they have a signed contract on for. It's just it's been very, very tough. So we hope things get better here moving forward in the future.
It's tough, as Eric, I know, as like a truck salesman, to say something like, gone are the days of you being able to absolutely spec out down to the smallest detail of what you want. I want, this model international extended cab, with all these bells and whistles. I think the smart business owner understands that right now in this moment, I need a truck and I can't be particular like I was before. There will come a day when you can go back to speccing that truck exactly how you wanted it. And certainly if somebody wants to wait a year, 2 years for exactly what they want, they can.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that, Eric?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, once the order banks open back up for, it's crazy to think here, but 2024 model year for next year, we can build those custom builds that we're accustomed to doing. But if you have guys that wanting a truck relatively quick, they need to buy what's available now, if they can even get their hands on something.
So we got a great question in, and either one of you gentlemen, if you have any sort of insight into this question coming in from Roberto on YouTube. When did the shortage of these materials and equipment start? Was it during the strongest part of the pandemic, or was it towards the end of the phase, or is it a more recent trend? Great question, Roberto. Thank you.
To me, I personally think when we're kind of coming out of COVID, there was this huge buying everybody was buy, because during the heart of COVID, people kind of stopped buying. So I strongly believe it was just coming right out of COVID, which was what started 2020, maybe end of quarter one for 2020. Is that correct?
2020 started.
Yeah. So coming out of COVID, I would say probably it started 2021. Yep.
Right. And I would say the same thing, to where the supplies that we had in house started dwindling, and we can only do so much with what we had to wear out. Even if it had one piece of it, we can't put it together to make the whole of the kit or whatever part it was.
Yep. And then with the people off work, during COVID, that they weren't making all the chips and stuff. So that then everybody started buying, and here we are with no parts or equipment to produce all the orders.
Just shout out a couple of people dropping in here. Rob Long's in the house. Rob is a longtime follower of our show. We've got our very own Teresa in the house. Hey T, how are you? Shouting out everybody. We'll keep rolling here, but yeah, this is something that we keep hearing. This is something that we hear from everybody, all and like I said, across every industry, across the garbage truck manufacturers are having the same problems. It's not just a towing specific problem.
I remember talking to a lady in Iowa where she owned a quilting store, and she said, remember how back in the day you could get fabric for $1.50, $2 a yard at like a big box retailer? She's like, now it's $12 a yard. Wow. And you have to wait for it. So it, like Dennis said, it is absolutely affecting every single industry. Ron Parrish, what's up, buddy? Good to see you here.
Tow Force in the house, as always. Thank you for supporting us. So, Eric, if I'm a tower and I need a truck right now, I just signed a police contract. I need 5-6 pieces of equipment to kick this contract off next month. What's your best advice for me?
If you find it and maybe it's not the right color, you buy it, because it's we just can't get the equipment, and it's very unfortunate. We get calls every week all across the country, guys looking for just the exact example you just gave. I need a truck. I need it right now. It's just it's so hard to tell these people no, but it's just the world we live in right now. So if you do come across a truck that's like a maybe not fit all the boxes or check all the boxes for you, I just would recommend to buy it.
Got Derek in the house, New York Tow Trucks for Families. How's it going over there? Looking forward to seeing you guys next week up in Lake George. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one this year.
Chris Young has a question for Eric. Is availability on light, medium wrecker bodies short like the carrier bodies?
I would say not as short as carrier bodies, like steel carrier bodies. I mean, we're sold out well into next year for those. Light, medium duty wreckers, we still have quite a few of those in our pipeline that's coming down that we could sell you. The problem there again is the chassis. The problem, if I have the body coming, then maybe the chassis is going to be another 6 to 8 months down the road. So it really is a big puzzle that we're trying to put together.
So same sort of similar question for Rene. I'm a tower who I usually buy things as I need it. Maybe I keep a couple spare wire ropes up on the shelf. I keep a couple sets of straps on the shelf, but burn through that pretty quickly. What's your advice for somebody like that?
If you normally would keep, let's say, 2 or 3 on the shelf for your fleet, now I would advise you to keep anywhere between 5 and 10, depending on the size of your fleet, because of the time it would take you to restock and get those products back to you.
Lead times are longer. Like the ship time was 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. The lead times are going to be longer to get it to you. And my advice, are you asking for my advice too, Dennis, or just Renee's?
No, not yours at all. I don't ever want your advice. I always want your advice, Shelly. I call you like 4 days a week for advice. What are you talking about?
And you do. If there's ever a time, take a step back as a business owner, especially on the accessory side, and ask the question, what are my high churn items? What am I burning through the most? I mentioned earlier, wire rope, your straps, your 4-point tie-down sets, your 8-point tie-down sets, straps, your snatch block with the chain and the grab hook on the end.
Ratchets.
Yes. the Ugga Duggas, as Eric Yates calls them.
Yes.
Any apparel, like we've got winter will be upon us, the summer will be gone. Do you have your winter jackets here? It's going to be harder and harder to get those things that normally they would come like this.
Something that will put your truck out of service or that you're not going to be able to use on the carriers and the rollbacks. If it's that wire rope is busted, broken, damaged, that hook is broken, damaged, you can't use it. That I'm not saying that the truck is completely useless, but yeah, keep a couple of those wire ropes in stock because it's going to take a while to get that to you.
Rob says, how about drivers? Have any of them in stock? Does anybody have any drivers in stock?
Everybody's looking for drivers as far as I know.
Yeah, that's one of the most difficult pieces of it right now. Is I think everybody is facing that challenge right now. A lot of folks have trucks sitting unoccupied. They're just they're looking for people to fill them, and finding a qualified driver that can do this job and is willing to work the hours and everything else that comes along with doing this job. It's getting more and more difficult to find people. So yeah, that's a good point. Nick has a great question here. Rebuild versus buy new. I'm assuming he means used versus new. Eric, any thoughts on used versus new right now?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Rebuilding is you can save a little bit of money by rebuilding, but you run into problems doing that. We run into problems like getting parts to do your rebuild. We may not have a hydraulic pump to put on your truck. It could sit here for 4 months just for that exact thing, a hydraulic pump. You probably can save a little bit of money rebuilding, but that would probably be the biggest advantage, I would say. But the disadvantage is you won't have any warranty when you have a new body or sitting there. So there's advantage and disadvantage to both there.
And just to chime in a little bit and I know in Texas we wouldn't churn through bodies and whether it be the wrecker body or the carrier body, they would last a little bit longer because we don't have the salt and corrosion of the up north to where you would re-chassis a wrecker body at least once or twice and be able to do that in Texas, and not as much as up north. But yeah, you do save some money on there, but it's like you said, Eric, if the parts aren't there for the stuff that you need to either rebody or put a different chassis on that wrecker.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and you run into a whole host of potentially other issues when you start rebuilding things too, because got to make sure all your records are up to date, and that what your part numbers are and what filters you need and everything else. So you again keeping everything in stock.
Yeah.
James Tarantina, hi buddy, it's good to see you on.
Yes, that's Salt Life.
Yeah, Salt Life.
Salt Life.
All day, our friend from Minnesota. Good to see you.
James says, just have a good salesman. Eric, are you his salesman? Is that why you're saying that?
No, he's lucky enough. He gets Brian McDermott.
Oh, okay.
Brian's been selling for Zips for what, I think 25, maybe 30 years here. He's a fantastic guy.
Fantastic. But yeah.
Let's see.
Sorry, his questions are coming a little hot.
I know. I'm reading some too.
Sure.
Average cost of a light duty wrecker, Eric. I know that's kind of a loaded question because it can mean all sorts of different things, and we'll give you Eric's contact info after this, and you can reach out to him and get a really good idea of what, if you're looking to price something out. But ballpark, I guess, what are we looking at? Are we looking at 120, 150?
I'd say probably average is probably right around $100,000 from the. I guess I'm gonna shoot a little higher, maybe 115,000. Maybe I think the low end trucks now are right around 100,000, and we have upwards of guys building light duty wreckers into 160, $170,000 trucks. I mean, it's just it is a loaded question.
That's a low spec light bar. That's
Yep.
one toolbox, maybe two low end toolboxes.
Shelley's getting excited.
Don't pull a lot of lights.
Yeah.
There's no side puller on it. There's nothing fancy. There's no trays installed. It is the bare bones basic. Get in it, turn the key, and go to work.
If you need a truck to put a warm body in there and start making money, let's get it done.
A bridle, a set of skates, and a snatch block, and go.
Now, if you need a McGuire special
Anyway.
with all the lights, all the stainless,
Yes.
all the custom
Where are
paint.
McGuire's?
Yes, that's what we actually need. That's what we all really want.
Yes.
For sure. Renegade. Rob, the Renegade is a beautiful truck for sure. Oh, James Trentino, love you, Eric.
Thanks, James.
Make me blush over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we at Zips love you too.
It's again, and I said this multiple times already. It is across every industry. I mean, even Amazon packages getting delayed, mail getting delayed. I've had I've had people overnight me packages, and they were supposed to be here next day or 2 day, and they take 3 or 4 days to get here. It's every single system has just slowed down. Steven in the house. What's up, Steve? Pags, check him out. I haven't seen you in a while. We'll have to catch up after this. Nick says he's got a 95 International 4700. That's a strong truck.
Funny thing about it is that has the International, that 7.3 in it. Does it?
It's still going.
Nick, does it have that 7.3? If you can message, that'd be pretty cool. I've got a 97 Ford with a 7.3 power stroke.
So Eric, if I am somebody that wants to, as Rene called it, the McGuire build, if I want all the bells and whistles and the lights and the stainless, and I want all the panels and I want everything, all the options, what are you going to tell me right now if I come to you and tell you I need a truck like that?
Like how long?
How long? What are we looking at for time wise?
Yeah, I mean it's probably I'd say at least a year before I could produce something like that. It's crazy because we can't get the chassis, can't get the bodies, and we just got to start by getting it on paper and getting an order. And I can't guarantee the price today. It's subject to change tomorrow. It's very unfortunate, but it's the world we live in right now.
I'm going to ask a question on that and getting that. How about what are you seeing the delays from the twin steers, the Samar twin steers that are having to go out of the country into Canada to get modified and come back?
Yeah, I think I got one up there right now. It's I think they told us it's about a month and a half lead time from when the truck goes up to Canada by the time it gets back to us, which ain't too bad. Usually they're I think right about a month. But even those chassis, a twin steer chassis, I would tell people probably at least a year and a half now before we could probably even get one.
Wow. So we're in this for the time being, for the long haul. There's lots of unknowns. Eric and Rene, what do you think is the best strategy going forward to plan for the future, for the unknowns? What are some suggestions you would make to the tow truck owner for the future?
You gotta go first, Rene?
Yeah, I honestly, one of the first ones that first idea that comes to mind, it used to be that you could sell the truck that you are replacing because the new one is on order. Now it's hold on to it until you get the new truck, because you don't know if that truck is going to be delayed 6 months, a year and a half. Sit on that truck that you're replacing until you get the new truck, and then send it down the road.
100%. Because Eric can say, "Oh, I think your truck will be ready in 6 months." 6 months, this year's gone, and Eric is still waiting on, like he said, the hydraulic pump, the whatever. There are unknowns that your salesman cannot answer. So that's why it's so important to be flexible and be resilient. It's easy for me to say that because I'm not sitting here owning a business, but with the supply chain, like we're talking about, what other choices do we have besides flexibility and resilience?
Yep.
We got Jeff Paquette popping in the house. Trivia night must be over. Must have ended early.
We'll see you in a couple weekends in Esther, buddy. We're looking forward to it.
But if you check out the Tow Business podcast, recently Jeff was just telling the same story, and I'm totally going to butcher this, and I know I totally have it wrong, but I think Jeff said, the bulk of his fleet is Kenworths, and he just changed everything. He spent the last few years changing everything over, and he had to take a Pete on order just to fill the seat, just to replace the truck or add a truck that needed to be added. So everybody's having these same sort of issues.
Mm-hmm. And like we mentioned earlier, having the backup plan this is the truck I'd really like to have. I want a wire rope that's 3/4 or 3/8 in diameter and 75 feet long with a self-locking swivel hook. But all we have in stock is a 3/8 by 75 with your standard hook that does not swivel.
See, I got it wrong. I knew I got it wrong. He has all Pete's and he had to get a Kenworth. I knew it. I knew I was going to screw that up.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Always have a backup plan and,
Mhm.
and just be flexible with what is available. Right now is the time where you're going to have to take what's available for trucks and for accessories.
Yeah.
I want a set of dollies that have this size tire and only this size tire is available.
Yes. Even bit larger fleets that were used to rotating trucks out at a certain time are now holding on to their trucks a little bit longer just because of the lack of availability of new units coming in.
Yep. And like Dennis asked, what kind of strategy? I think people really need to start forecasting farther and farther out.
Yes.
If you put 50,000 miles on a truck a year, how many miles is that going to have in 4 years? Or in 2 years? We just got to really start planning farther ahead than I think our toy industry was very accustomed to buying trucks right now. And now, it's not available. So forecast for the future is probably the biggest advice I could give.
I've got a great question. Eric, what happens to that used truck that was the trade-in that now has 100,000 miles more because it took longer to get the new truck?
Yep.
That's a great question, Rene.
It's a great question. Us dealers are, struggling to deal with, but we'll give a lot of times we'll give you a price on a trade-in today, but I can't guarantee you I can give you that same price in 6 months when the truck is done. So I'll give you a price on it today, and then I'll say we'll revisit it in 6 months when your truck is done. It's just it's a tough position to be in.
For sure.
It's Cesar Torres in the house. Towman 127. How's it going, brother?
Oh, hey, Caesar.
What's Towman 127? Is that back in the Tow 411 days?
No, he's got a YouTube page. He's like the biggest. Renee, will you school her, please?
I didn't know who Ron. I knew who Ron Pratt was because he was my customer.
That's a story for another.
The Ron Pratt story. I'm like, let's go see Ron Pratt.
You know Ron Pratt? Like, what? To her, my customer Ron Pratt. I'm like, he's got a silver play button from YouTube. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah. So we went to go visit Ron Pratt.
Hey, Cesar Torres. Thank you for joining us.
Super cool.
Caesar's got a great YouTube channel. If you ever want to figure out how to unlock something or get into a vehicle or get something out of neutral, he's probably got a video on it.
Sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. That's very, very crucial, needed information. Thank you, Cesar.
Yeah, and it's all just available on YouTube, and why he hasn't capitalized on making money off of it, I don't know, but keep up the great work. We love it.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Just going back to what we were talking about, though, Renee, how about on your end? What are you seeing is like the longest delays on things right now? What kind of products?
Any steel items, whether it be taking the foundry process for forging the parts, or even the zinc plating. The zinc plating is taking more. And guess what? It takes diesel fuel to transport that piece of equipment from point A to point B to go get it zinc plated. So the cost of that is going up because of the diesel price. Don't get me started on diesel and DEF, that fluid. That's
the cost of everything. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Or people calling in and, well, that's not what I paid last time. It's not what we paid for it either. To where it's like it's times are changing. The demand is different. The cost of goods is different. Just the raw goods is the major issue. Yes.
So I know some of your role involves new product and things like that. So how has that been affected?
It's a little bit slower on actually bringing products to fruition, new products to fruition into the market. We are working on some stuff that I can't let the cat out of the bag, but
tell me more.
I can't. And it's a widget. I'll just call it a widget.
Okay.
We need to finish this product. Well, guess what? We can only get so many because of a shortage. Well, you don't want to come to market with a product. Okay, we only have 50 of them. Well, that's not going to do us any good because we need to be able to have enough for at least 6 months to a year and then build on to that.
Yeah, one guy might come along and say, "I want 50 of them right now."
Yes, completely.
I mean, I hope so. I don't know what they are. I'm making that up.
No, yes, exactly. We'll have zips, love the product, and then that buy us out completely, buy all the product.
Jeff says, "Shelli, make him talk." Shelli, can you convince him to squeal here?
We'll talk to you in Estro, Jeff.
With you in Dallas.
Yeah,
or in Texas.
We'll see him in Estro in New York. Jeff Paquette.
We'll see you at the Tow Expo. Yes, Jeff Paquette, but we'll
that's a reason to come to the Tow Show. Find out the super secret product Renee's developing. Hey, check that out.
We're working on it. I'm not developing. It's a team.
It's Renee's design. It's his project.
No, not at all. Big team effort. But yes, come to the Texas Tow Show to find out some of the products we've been working on.
Yvonne St. Cyr.
What up? Our long departed friend Yvonne. Welcome back. We love you. We miss you.
Yes.
Nick asked about, is there any future in electric tow trucks? You know who's got a great answer for that? Chris Young has a great answer to that question in our season 3, episode 2, Get Hooked podcast. So go ahead and check that out. If somebody can drop a link in the chat right now to the Get Hooked podcast, that's where you can go after this and listen for the answer on the future of electric tow trucks and the future of electric vehicles.
Rene told me it was all his idea.
No, not at all.
Absolutely lies.
No, I will never take full credit for anything like that, but I appreciate it, guys.
Derek, you just got a new truck this year. Drinks are on you. I bought drinks last year.
Nick, link to what, Nick?
Link to the podcast. There we go. There it is right there. There's the podcast. Thank you.
There you go, Nick.
So we got a couple minutes left here. Any parting thoughts from you guys about the future of supply chains and just how to, as a tower,
just be flexible, guys. The same way that that television, that 75-inch or 85-inch television is no longer available at your electronics store. Some of the products that are hand built, even here in Columbia, Maryland, are in short supply. Just be patient. We'll get everything to you. Just whatever it is, whether it be a hook or a strap.
The 50-foot wire rope might not be in stock. Go for the 75. Vice versa. Be flexible.
Yeah. Eric?
Yeah, I like what you guys said, and just I think as a country, we're all in this together. I mean, it's not just our industry feeling this effect. It's every industry that it's going on here in America. So, and hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, hopefully we will find our way out of this soon. It's not going to be right away, but we're getting there little by little. Things are starting to come back to quote unquote normal, but we're getting there little by little. And like Eric said, if you want a 2024 truck, now's the time to start thinking about that. Now's the time to start putting that thing on paper. And if you really want something custom, now is the time. Gentlemen, you have some information you'd like to share if anybody wants to get a hold of you?
BA Products.
What's the website for BA Products?
BAprod.com.
Zits.com. You can give us a call anytime. 800-222-6047.
I still know the
I
number.
know. I was like, I could have said that too.
Exactly.
We appreciate all you great customers.
For sure.
Well, it has been another wonderful episode. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for all your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment here afterwards, and we'll do our best to get you some answers as best as we can. And I think that is just about it. I do have to contractually obligated to read some information here to you. No, I'm kidding. We love you. We love all you guys. But if you're a current HONK partner, thank you for your continued support. We appreciate you. We love all the work you guys do for us. Thank you so much. Nick, new stickers from HONK. Yes, we have some great stickers. Come visit us at the tow show and we will get some to you. If you're not a HONK partner, you are missing out on tons of additional towing and roadside jobs that are near you. HONK is a towing and roadside partner network offering services for insured covered motorists and auto retailers. Towing businesses join HONK to increase revenue and operate more efficiently. And it's free to join at www.joinhonk.com. Your towing business wins with HONK. We send you more jobs that are closer to you so you can make more money per hour. Most importantly, you get paid instantly. Honk leads the industry with the fastest payouts. 75% of our jobs are paid within an hour of completion, 95% within 24 hours. One more time, www.joinhonk.com. And once again, you can catch Shelli and I at the Estra Tow Show, June 3, 4, and 5, Lake George, New York. You can catch us at the Honk booth at the Michigan Tow Association Picnic in Frankenmuth, June 11th. And you can catch most of the folks on here will probably be at the American Towman Expo. Shelli and I will be there as well. Fort Worth, Texas, June 16, 17, and 18. And for more information about electric vehicles, check out the Get Hooked podcast. It's out now. Link is in the chat.
Does anyone say www. Anymore? I don't think so.
Are you giving me crap for saying www?
Zips.com, joinhonk.com, and vaprod.com. No one says www. I'm your producer over here.
www.joinhonk.com.
No more.
On the World Wide Web. Okay, people?
Oh,
The interweb.
What happened to his dog?
What happened to his dog?
thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.